All right, let's get a little bit more on that. I'm just going to pad, as we call it here in TV land, because Senator Barbara Pocock is sidling up, getting comfortable in the chair next to me to talk about this very topic. So we almost combined it there, one guest out, one guest in. I think your microphone's on. I'm going to just talk for a few more seconds to make sure our people can make sure it is on. Okay. Thank you for your time. So a lot of these jobs, this is the pushback from various people on this idea, superannuation for under 18s.
Yep.
Smooth. Sky News Australia having a few issues, swapping over guests there. The perils of live TV. Hello, I'm television and radio presenter Rob McKnight. With over 30 years' experience, this is Media McKnight. Well, Channel 10 is gearing up to shoot what is likely the final season of Australian Survivor. With a change of location to Malaysia, sources tell me the production company, Endemol Shine, is struggling to make a reduced budget work, and the whole thing is already turning into a shit show, really. Media McKnight can also reveal the theme for this season will be rivals. Now, after the sacking of original host Jonathan LaPaglia, the show is set to finish on a whimper with audiences tuning out from the series hosted by his replacement, David Gannat. The decision to cast Gannat has led to lower ratings and lower advertising revenue. Now, angry insiders are revealing what went on behind the scenes during LaPaglia's time on the show, and it turns out it certainly wasn't a case of happy campers. And this year's theme of rivals is apt, considering what I'm now hearing about the production of the show. Multiple sources have revealed to Media McKnight that tensions were high between LaPaglia and a high-level producer working on the show. As one source told me, Jonathan wanted to be involved in the show's creative process and often pitched ideas he believed would improve the program. However, production rarely entertained them. They wanted a host who would simply deliver the lines and direction they envisaged, but Jonathan wasn't that person. Now, apparently that led to a showdown between the two, and their relationship never recovered. In fact, it's alleged there were some seasons where the two barely talked, and sources claim on one occasion the two argued in front of contestants who had to be taken away. Now, look, Endemol Shine Australia denies these claims, but I've been ringing around and it seems the hostility between the two was common knowledge. And look, that can certainly happen when a host and a producer have different ideas about content. And one of my sources even acknowledged that, saying, was Jonathan difficult at times? Certainly. But many who worked on the show believe that stemmed from the way he was treated by Endemol executives rather from his personality alone. How and whether those tensions led to LaPaglia's sacking is up for debate, but it's always a risk axing someone who is so popular. And look, sometimes you can do it and the show continues as normal, but that is not the case with LaPaglia. There's no doubt fans of Australian Survivor loved him. Now they've tuned out and the show is hanging by a thread, unlikely to survive the next season. There's been a lot of confusion over why Hey Hey It's Saturday was snubbed by TV Week in its shortlist for the top 70 Aussie TV shows of all time. Now, that's despite the fact host Daryl Somers is a 3-time Gold Logie winner, and the show won multiple awards over the years. In fact, I spoke to Daryl on a recent edition of McKnight Tonight about the snub. How did you really feel about TV Week leaving Hey Hey off the shortlist?
Bewildered. I honestly bewildered. I was trying to think why. I thought maybe it's a PR stunt that you take something obvious off the list and it'll create controversy and therefore give them more publicity for their list, which is 140 going to be whittled down to 70. And then I think the top 16 will be announced on the night of the Logies. But, I would dearly love to know the real reason why we're not included.
Yeah, it's a really good question, isn't it? And one TV Week wasn't really able to answer when approached by The Age. Now, according to TV Week's editorial director, the shortlist was designed to spark conversation, not define it. Australians were encouraged to vote for any show that shaped their TV experience, regardless if it was on the 140 show shortlist or not. We love to see the passion this poll has brought. That's a bit of PR spin if I've ever heard it. We all know it's easier to vote for something if it's part of a list and you're not having to think. And if that was the case anyway, why have a list? Why not just say, vote for whatever show you want? We know that Hey Hey is unlikely to be part of the final 70 because it wasn't on that 140 shortlist. Now, we still don't know the reasons why. Was it wokeism? Was it because it was just an oversight? Is it because a 21-year-old compiled the list? No, that answer we got doesn't cut it. But during the chat, Daryl revealed plans for a new streaming service and stage show.
I mean, a few, maybe 2 or 3 months, we'll be launching Hey Hey TV, which will be sort of our streaming channel. And
Well, I was about to say, you've already got Hey Hey It's TV, and we've actually got the information there for people that want to go to Hey Hey TV. What are you launching that's different to the website?
Oh, we're taking the dot out for a start. Hey Hey TV, but we are launching. It will be a whole new site. We've hooked up with Vimeo to host it. Stripe will be taking care of the paywall, but it's going to be. I think we're going up 4 cents from $6.95 to $6.99. So it's not a big increase.
Outrageous.
Vimeo said, I think you should make it. We do our things in a different way. Can you make it $6.99? We said, all right. But I can tell you, Rob, by the time Vimeo will take their cut, probably Stripe will take their cut, APRA will take theirs. we won't end up with much, but at least the show will be able to be seen. There'll be over 800 episodes. I'll start recording bits. I've already named one little segment called Bite-Sized Chunks, as in BYTE, and it will be me doing little memories of why we went to Hollywood in '91, why we end up in Florida at Disney World in '96, and all associated stories and funny things that happened with guests and their reactions and whatever. So I'm really looking forward to that, and then that will be followed by me in theatre with large LED screen, possibly live band, 1 or 2 guests or whatever. And
you're going on the road?
We don't have any dates at this stage, but we'll get Hey Hey TV up first, and then we'll get the theatre thing happening.
Now, Daryl has promised to come back on and tell me more when there's more to be revealed about those projects. I cannot wait to talk to him again. It was awesome because he doesn't do interviews these days, so it was great to get him on. And there is a real disappointment in the man about the snub. It is interesting. He's tried to downplay it, but you can tell he's heard about it. We really would love to know what happened. Meanwhile, comments on my YouTube page show that there is still a lot of love for Daryl and a lot of love for Hey Hey It's Saturday. So Daryl's streaming service might have a future. We'll see. Peter V'landys has done it. He secured a record-breaking TV rights deal for the NRL, eclipsing the AFL's current package. Now, the 7-year contract is worth $5.3 billion, with Nine and Foxtel retaining the rights. Foxtel DAZN will air all games except for State of Origin and the Grand Final. Here's a very happy V'landys at today's presser.
We're about to announce the highest ever media broadcast deal in Australian sports history. Starting from 2027, for a 7-year period, we'll be getting $5.3 billion in media rights. Most is cash. 95% is cash. 5% is contra. This compares to the previous deal where the contra was 10%. So we have got a 90% uplift in cash.
Sydney's King dealmaker also confirmed Amazon was a bidder, ultimately missing out for the status quo. Now, as part of the deal, Foxtel's owner, DAZN, will market the game to its 400 million subscribers around the world. Foxtel CEO Patrick Delaney explained what his company gets for its $500 million per year.
We've been partners with the NRL for 30 years. When you add another 7, that's good. During those 30 years, the NRL's grown and it's become very important to our business. So we're very glad to be here on the renewal. The deal's good for our customers. As the NRL grows and adds more games, we get more games, more exclusivity. We're really hoping for the 20th team to be added. and by the time there are 10 games, we'll have 7 of those exclusive and 3 non-exclusive, which is great.
Now, exclusivity for Foxtel DAZN is a very interesting component here, because under the anti-siphoning legislation, there should be no exclusivity for pay TV providers like Foxtel and Kayo. Well, that's my interpretation of it. Let me take you through it. The anti-siphoning list was last updated by then Minister for Communications, Michelle Rowland, in November 2024. The NRL is the 7th listed sport and says, 1. Each match in the National Rugby League Premiership, including the final series. 2. Each match in the National Rugby League State of Origin series. So that says to me that every game of NRL should be available to fans on television for free. There's no carve out, there's no allocation of a number of matches that don't have to be made available for free. So how can Foxtel have exclusive matches that people have to pay to see? And it's the exact same situation with the AFL. Now, there's no doubt Foxtel pays a lot more for rights, which is why the free-to-air broadcasters essentially turn a blind eye. But it seems the government is also turning a blind eye. Under the legislation, all games should be available to watch for free. This is not ambiguous. Meanwhile, Nine had made an audacious bid for all the rights so that it could put the games currently aired by Foxtel onto its streaming platform Stan. Nine CEO, Matt Stanton, he had to have been disappointed in the outcome, but was happy at least to retain the free-to-air rights.
Yeah, thank you. Nine are delighted to retain their rights. We've had the rights for 30 years, and we're really pleased to pick up the free-to-air rights. It's very important for us to be the only free-to-air owner of those rights, so very important, and the exclusivity around State of Origin and the finals. So we're absolutely delighted with that, and it really is key to our network. This is a plank for the whole network as we go forward. As Patrick talked about a bit as well, there's a lot of investment that we do across, and this, from an employment point of view, is very helpful as well for the business going forward, and secures for another 7 years, which is a really good, significant period of time for us to base our business around. So we're absolutely delighted to retain those rights.
It doesn't seem like the cat who got the cream, and there's good reason for that. As James Madden points out in The Australian, Nine streaming ambitions have been dashed with this deal. It's no secret Nine is pivoting its business from free-to-air TV over to its streaming service Stan, and it's a smart play. But part of that plan required high-value sporting rights, and the company was hoping to build its subscription base with the NRL. When Foxtel got wind of Nine's plans, it started putting together a bit of its own to buy all the rights and then on-sell games to Channel 7 and Channel 10. I've told you many times 7 was keen to get the State of Origin in the grand final. But neither plan stood a chance because V'landys is too smart to choose one player over the other. Once he hit the financial benchmark he was after, it made sense for him to go with the status quo. Why would he put all his eggs into one basket? Now, you can't blame Nine for being audacious, but you also can't blame the NRL for wanting multiple partners. It just makes sense. You can show your support for the show by buying me a coffee. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/McKnight tonight. Every bit helps keep this show from our garage going. I interviewed Pauline Hanson last week on McKnight Tonight, and when I went to get a grab of her National Press Club address, I was more than a little surprised to find her speech had only been uploaded to the National Press Club YouTube page in 480p. Seriously, it looks like the thing was recorded on VHS. This is 2026. How are we putting this on to a YouTube service? The show I make right here in my garage is high definition. And with all the resources the Press Club has, they can only do 480p. And while we're on speeches at the Press Club, why on earth are they not streamed live on their YouTube page? Now, I know the ABC broadcasts them and sometimes Sky does as well, but it beggars belief these speeches are not available live and in high definition on their YouTube page, on the YouTube page of the actual organisers. Seriously, do better. Come with me on a story. Imagine you're Australia's third place commercial TV network, fourth if you include the ABC. You've had a combined pre-tax loss of approximately $566 million between 2023 to 2025. Now, would you be focused on increasing ratings and revenue? I certainly would be. Well, the folks at Channel 10, not so much. They're more interested in teaching staff how to weave. I kid you not. As first reported by entertainment guru Peter Ford, the network is holding weaving sessions on Thursday as part of NAIDOC Week. You can't make this stuff up. Maybe the network is trying to teach staff new skills for when the next round of redundancies take place. There's no doubt NAIDOC Week is worth celebrating, but surely staff at Network 10 should be more focused on using their time to draw audiences to the troubled network. And don't forget, this is the same network that cancelled Australia Day because it is not, and I quote, it is not a day of celebration. Well, you know what they say, you go woke and you go broke, and Channel 10 certainly seems to be proving that's true. All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Media McKnight. I'll be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, but paid members get early access as soon as the episode is ready to go. I'm Rob McKnight. I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.